Oh, a rat! There's a rat! There's a motherfucker rat! There's a motherfucker. I'ma whoop your I'ma whoop your
So it's like, I think I got footage from like 2 hours ago. I was supposed to make a host guide today, but like this morning, but Daybreak did not want to cooperate with me, so now I'm making an experiment guide, I guess. It's easier said than done, but I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out for y'all. Skip all the yappery. Experiment stats overall are actually not that bad. Generally actually really favorable for him, because he's a 6B with a 5 radius, which is pretty normal. His detection's on the kind of lower side, and like his detection cooldown, I mean. His attack recovery and slow is decently normal. His lunge is decent. It's just kind of hard to tell that he is lunging, and that's been a general problem with Daybreak for a long time. So thankfully, like I said in the previous guide, they're going to be patching that in the new update, which we finally got stuff for Danya. Apparently we're getting another map, so kudos to them, kudos to that. As for Experiment themselves, when it comes to lore, Experiment was in the same facility that Host was watching over. Their name, I believe, was Specimen 129 something, or 1243, or something of the sort. And so the only reason why Experiment is just this big rat is because it kept getting fed over and over again. And when Host got taken over by Specimen 513, I think I'm thinking of the right one, some sort of other specimen, and broke havoc around the facility, that's when Experiment started to get sad. It ate its first human for the first time, and it was like, ooh, I like this. And then just started eating more humans, like it's Minecraft or something crazy of the sort. And it got huge. It got to like the size of a human. So now we just have this big rat wandering around the mist, slaughtering people and giving people cheese touch, which I'll actually go on to cheese touch in like 2 seconds. Hey, so Experiment has a passive called Aftershock. Everybody calls it cheese touch. That's pretty much the norm now. So essentially, this can be done either when Experiment is not burrowing or when he is burrowing, which is amazing. He basically makes him a better ghost. So when Experiment can choose to put cheese touch, aka Aftershock, on a gen, and so essentially within 35 seconds of that being placed, if a survivor gets on that gen again, it'll automatically cause a skill check failure, like moment of, and take away progress. You'll be notified of it too, and then you'll be able to tell what Aftershock is on your gen. And I'm pretty sure, kind of like Watcher's survey, there can be multiple cheese touches on different gens, but it's like a 1 minute cooldown to even put cheese touch on a gen, so it's actually not that bad. It's pretty good, especially when you're patrolling and you want to go from one side of the map to the other and you want to make sure this gen doesn't get tapped. That, or you want to make sure survivors don't go back on a gen. It's actually very good for that. And his active is called Burrowing. It's kind of similar to Ghost's Blood Phase, except you can see the dirt piles where he's moving. And so when he burrows, his red light and terror radius is hidden, like a Ghost Blood Phase, and he gains a speed boost. While leaving that trail, it just basically tells survivors where he's going or where he is. And when he gets out of the burrowing, they just call Deep Terror burrowing. When he gets out of the burrowing phase, he will slow survivors that's in like 20 studs of him. So think of like a 20 stud circle around him, to which they receive unsteady, which is the same thing they get when they trigger Aftershock, which basically makes them 10% slower. And I forgot what the other one was. So basically, as long as they're near as long as Experiment is still out of the burrowing phase, as long as Experiment is still walking around after they've given said person cheese touch, they will be 10% slower and do certain actions 15% slower. And that can only be re-triggered when Experiment gets out of burrowing phase again and gets cheese touch on somebody. I apologize for the stuttering. Your best bet when it comes to using Experiment is rather than getting out of burrowing, rather than stopping your burrowing phase behind a survivor, try to perceive where they're going and get out of burrowing in front of them so you can secure the cheese touch and make them slower, because they vault slower too. That's the thing I was missing. They vault 15% slower with that 10% speed debuff they already get. So you really want to secure that if you can. And you can get multiple people. You don't get just one. You can get multiple people with Aftershock. So just really, really try to hone in on it. And don't take your burrowing for granted too. When it comes to who you counter, you hard counter Crosby. Crosby hard counters you. You counter loopers. You can genuinely slow the crap out of healers and gen rushers. However, gen rushers are still your biggest threat as a character who excels at controlling gens. So just always prioritize gen rushers first. Should you tunnel? That depends, but just let that be known. Tracker characters can get a little annoying, but aside from that, you don't really have any hard counters aside from Crosby or maybe like a few other gen rushers like Ren. So yeah, one thing you really want to make great use out of is that unlike Ghost's blood phase, you can kick gens and Aftershock gens while in the burrowing phase. So when you're patrolling and your Aftershock cooldown is off, put Aftershock on a gen that you're really trying to keep an eye on and keep moving. And you can also kick during that time too. But if you can't kick at the time when you're burrowing, then the moment you get out of burrow on a gen, kick it and Aftershock it. That saves you so much more time rather than waiting until you're like walking towards the gen. If anything, I feel like you should only kick when you're burrowing. That, or if you have downtime after downing a survivor. Time is precious to you as an Experiment player. Make use of your time. Do not let time get ahead of you. Easier said than done, but it's better in practice. Getting on the gameplay, it's Purge Tin. So I basically just patrol for the first couple of seconds, and I see that the gen over here is glowing, the light is on, so I go for this Valerie. My behind got looped by this Valerie. Valerie, I'm so sorry, Chushing. This person's insane, I'm not gonna lie. Kudos to them, that's a great looper. But, essentially, your job as Experiment in the round is to patrol. You excel at patrolling, better than Principal, better than basically any other killer in the game. You are the gen patroller. I don't know why they thought that I'd fall for that. And I don't know why the recording is lagging, but we'll figure it out. And so now I basically go ahead and chase this, I think it's a Kyle and a Sarah? Yeah. They get a little cocky, so I just go ahead and trigger the trap now. And so when it comes to a situation like this, as you see from right here. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I forgot. I went to go pick this person up. Not pick them up. And then I double back, making them think that I'm gonna go burrow right there. But I come back, I survey and kick that gen. Aftershock and kick that gen while I'm coming out of burrow. And I go ahead and chase these two. So then I can tell that the Sarah panic vaults. Panic vault game. They also panic vault, except that Kyle kinda doesn't panic vault. He takes his time. He likes to mind game like that. If you are not confident in your ability to chase a survivor at a certain area, your best bet is to go and burrow and then get back up out of burrow so then you can slow them. Because basically that's just how you counter a looper, is to go back into burrow and then unburrow and slow them, slow their vault speed, all that fun jazz. And so now I'm going after this Amari and Xiaoxing again. I don't really know who I want to go for. I just want to secure a gen lock. Now, I will give a disclaimer that I did lose this round, but I feel like people... Let me rephrase. I feel like, as a Daybreak YouTuber, you should show your failures and your analysis of why you failed, rather than just showing your wins. I feel like it's more believable that way. It's more realistic. If you just show your wins, yes, that makes a good compilation. Yes, that can rack some good views, but like, what are you learning from that? What are you learning from a guide if you don't show your losses? Period. Aside from that, I heard this Sarah walking. She probably shouldn't have moved near me. So now I'm just beelining for this Sarah. This Sarah, I don't know why she did that, but we're gonna ignore that. I downed the Sarah at some point over here. About fake vault now. Died on about like right before the vault. Kicked the gen. Well, no, I already kicked it. I double checked it. And now I go to look for this Ren. In a downtime like this, it's best to try to secure a gen lock while they're still at 7 or 8. And although I did get my gen lock at the end, I believe I spent too much time chasing one survivor, so I go ahead and put Aftershock on that gen. And I go towards the survivor's hat truck, unburrow, and just start the whole thing all over again. I kick the generator while I'm getting out of burrow. Now what's interesting about this Xiaoxing is that she, I don't want to say she panic mics, but she mics when she knows that she's about to die. So I go ahead and try to have her waste her mic. Mind game myself again. That's normal. I just wanted to do my host guide, man. I'm gonna have to prolong it to probably next week. I'm sorry, y'all. But, yeah, I go ahead and chase her a little bit. Try to see if I can have her bait her mic before I actually hit her and down her. There we go. She's off on the run. I see somebody's on that gen back there, so I feel like I should have stuck with it. But at the end of the day, I wanted at least 3 downs. I already presumed that there'd be a 3K. So if you could tell, I kicked and then I applied Aftershock. Looking over here again just in case Sarah's there. And I started running. Towards the Ren. Ren is probably one of my biggest counters, so I just want him gone. That and Sarah, but I don't think I see Sarah at all after this. Down them there. I have a long ways to go before my burrow comes back. So I just try to look for people, and there's Tabitha. She decides to spark to run practically through me. She vaults right there. Vaults again. I assume she's gonna vault a 3rd time. She doubles back. Yep. Down. She was trying to panic vault right there. And so now I'm looking for this guy. Yara's down. I don't know why people hide behind the rocks. If you're not a Sanjana or like a Jack and you try to hide behind those rocks, what's the point? Small rant aside. Now I'm patrolling again, and even though I don't want to tunnel, this is my best bet at getting this Xiaoxing. So I just go ahead and go for it. She has her mic up again, so I know I'm gonna be here for a while. Just try to push her away, I believe, and then I just continue on with my day. This is one thing you will feel as an experiment, is you have to be patient, I believe. Even though you do slow survivors, you have to be really, really patient with your attack, and you have to be really, really patient about your ability. It's kind of like Werewolf, where you have to have discipline. And as a matter of fact, I should make an in-depth guide on Werewolf. But I feel like I should capable him first before I try that, because I have not played... I've only played Werewolf like twice. He's on level 2. I haven't even played him in Daybreak 1. So I'd rather get comfortable with Werewolf before I go ahead and make a guide on him, even though I have some pretty good ideas on him. But yeah, I get looped the crap out of by this Chao-Shing. Like I said, kudos to them. Amazing looper. I don't know what level they're on. But yeah, they died on the vault, apparently. So I just go ahead and start moving. I think that's the second time I detected all match. And at that point, I really want to secure my gen lock, so I don't care about that gen behind me, which is probably my biggest mistake. Go ahead and double kick the gen again and chase this other. Yeah, this second Chao-Shing. That Amari's on the gen again. And it's kind of my fault at this section. If I went ahead and just prolonged the game and patrolled, I probably would have gotten a tie. But because I was getting a little cocky with sparing the gen so I could get a gen lock, that's how I lost. And so I want you to take this from me. When I say, if you are close to... I hit on the vault again. If you're close to securing a gen lock, secure it. It isn't... I was in a boss mindset when I was playing this game. It isn't like you can just let a gen go away to secure your gen lock. You have to actively look around because you're wasting your ability's potential. At least that's what I learned from it. For me personally.
You on your toes.
And I think at this point, I'm gonna be quiet for the rest of the round. Yeah, so if you have any questions, ask me below. If you have anything that you feel like I could change, put it down below. I'm all about learning. I'm all about fixing my mistakes. I gave up chase right here. Fixing mistakes, what's a better word for that? I'm all about educating myself. There we go, that's a better word. And yeah. Kudos to y'all. Love y'all. Stay creative. Definitely gonna see if I can try to get the host guide out this week. And peace.
I am the mouse. I'm trapped.